you're the Black Sheep lost member.
Right.
2/3 of the way through the movie, I have yet to see you, sir.
Well, let me address that. And outside of the little bowl you just tried to throw a little bit at the end, and my credibility in being an original member of New Edition, that was a fantastic call, Togo. That was a fantastic call. Now, let me address this whole thing about me not being, on the first 2 episodes of this New Edition movie on BET, or is it TV One? It's one of them black stations. Let me address that. And if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, for many, many years I've talked about it, and a lot of people dismiss it, that I'm some type of crazy old ninja from the low country of South Carolina. That's not the case. I was an original member of New Edition. Now, I was only a part of the group for, I think it's officially 2 days. Okay, it's a long story. My daddy had a job up there, but then he lost the job. Last one hired, first one fired, that type of thing. So we had to move back to South Carolina. And so a lot of people have been hitting me up on Twitter and everything. Doug, I'm watching this New Edition thing. I don't see you in it. I don't see your character in it. I don't see, anybody playing your character, Doug. What's going on? There's an explanation for that. There's a valid explanation for that. And the valid explanation is this. Contract negotiations broke down. Yeah. Yeah, you heard me. Contract negotiations broke down. They gave a number. They slid a piece of paper across the table, and I looked at it. I didn't like it, and I wrote down a figure, on my portrayal and my character in this movie. And I took that piece of paper and I scratched the line through it, and I wrote a number, and I slid it back across the table to the executive producers of the show, and they looked at the number and they didn't like it, and they scratched it out and they wrote a number, and this went back and forth, and we never could come to an agreement. So keep my name out of your mouth. And now you can tell, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this is a great point. And you can tell, and this is a great point. And watching that movie, it was a lot of shade going on. My old man wouldn't let me work, an entire year and make $1.57 and split between 5-6 ways at that time. My old man had better sense than that shit. So actually, what this says is that my old man was ahead of his time as far as his business sense. And he did not let me get what's the word I'm looking for? Used and abused, a phrase. My old man would not let me get used and abused. I mean, you saw it last night. Them boys worked an entire year, had a #1 hit selling album, and had to split a check between 5 people for $1.57, I think it was. Now that's crazy. My old man, Ralph Stewart, God rest the dead, Ralph Stewart wasn't going to allow that to happen. And actually, I'm happy about that. I wasn't a part of the group, and I missed a lot of great times, but I'm happy about that. And years later, they still doing that BS, and so I couldn't be in the damn movie. That's it. Bottom line. Let me read some of these messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Gilliard Rose Finest, Doug's in episode 5. Tune in on Saturday. But there ain't no episode 5, man. Oh, you trying to be funny. And you my cousin. Come on, man. From Corey. Somebody on Twitter said, how Bobby gonna come back on stage with a Mighty Mouse cap on? I couldn't breathe for 15 seconds. Yeah, Bobby Brown, ran off stage, one of their first disputes, I guess, and came back on the stage like in his night robe. Like, really, Bobby? That's why I didn't want to be part of that foolishness anyway. Bobby Brown was wilding out, man. Absolutely crazy. From X Squad, Kicking It with Kesey. He says, I think I saw you, Doug, at the first talent show that Bobby performed at it right. Now, they tried to slip my character in there kind of sideways. They showed me in the back. If you look very close, I was like the 5th person in the back on the right side of the manager. But actually, at the time, I had my back turned. I was talking to a little girl. But you have to look fast. And I didn't get paid for that, so they didn't give me a credit or anything like that in the credits. So, I mean, that's all. It's no big deal at all. But they did try to slip me in there. From Busa, I'm starting to worry that Doug is not going to get the due credit that he deserves for being an original member of New Edition. It's okay, brother. Thank you, Busa, though. From the ghost of Eddie Long. Bro, that ain't cool. Damn. It's kind of creepy, actually. In the chat room on Spreaker.com, there's a guy that's going by the ghost of Eddie Long. And the strange thing about that, it actually could be the ghost of Eddie Long in the chat room on Spreaker.com. It could be. We don't know. He says, I was hoping I could last long enough to the New Edition movie. I love those boys. What? Wait a minute. That is so improper. Hey, come on, bruh. Come on, man. That's improper, man. Come on. The ghost of Eddie Long in the chat room says, quote, I was hoping I could last long enough to see the New Edition movie. I love those boys. Now, come on. Come on, ghost of Eddie Long. You way better than that, man. From J. Clyde says the contract negotiations broke down. Laugh out loud. Doug, they never did those boys right. I'm glad that you got out of the group before you got shammed as well. Thank you, J. Clyde Censor. From LD from the D, he says Doug is actually doing the show from Roxbury right now, and he's not in Atlanta. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. From Dell, I thought Doug was the actor playing Ricky Bell. No, that was an actor playing Ricky Bell. That wasn't an actor playing Doug Stewart. You would have heard, once again, negotiations broke down. From 334 Bama Boy. Ha, ha, ha. Here comes a joke. He's got a picture of Mongo Slade as his profile photo. The great Mongo Slade. From 334 Bama Boy. Doug was a little kid that was messing with Ronnie when he was rehearsing. Laugh out loud. That ain't funny, bruh. Let me do the jokes around here, okay, man? From Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, it says too many commercials on BET more than the actual show. Here's a question. I'm not sure it's more than the actual show. And were we talking about this in the show, in the chat room yesterday, or was I talking about this with one of my friends? I can't remember, but somebody brought it up to me in the last couple of days of this New Edition miniseries or whatever, mini movie. Like, this movie probably could have easily been a big hit in the movie theaters. Like, why did they decide to do this as a TV movie, an ongoing TV movie, than, making it into, a big-time box office movie? I think most people would pay to go see that. Now, I guess two things come to mind on why maybe they didn't do it that way. One, the story is so expansive and they, for the most part, get into a lot of the details that it needed 6 hours. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe they couldn't do it in 2 hours, which is, what a typical movie is in theaters. And so maybe they needed to do 6 hours. They couldn't do a movie. That's the only thing I can come up with, because I would have paid money to go see New Edition, the movie and the backstory of New Edition. And I'm pretty sure I would have had a better contract to be a part of this whole thing. So I don't know. Team Broadcasting, he says box office movie would have had to have been 2 hours. Yeah, that's the thing that I think it has to be. But here's the thing about it. They could have cut out a lot of the fat of this thing and made it 2 hours. If you take away the commercials, like my Barbershop Sports Podcast just said, if you take away the commercials and you cut out a lot of the fat, where all of those conversations with the mothers and a lot of stuff that they could have done without, they may have been able to knock this down to 2, And even 2.5 hours, I think, would have been good. We've seen a lot of movies. Quentin Tarantino, all his damn movies are 2.5 hours, 3 hours. They could have done it 2.5 hours. So what I'm thinking is, and with all the commercials that they're running throughout this thing, I'm thinking that whoever the brains were behind this thing, the management, the agents, the lawyers, they probably got a better deal from BET than they would have got from a production company, from a movie studio in Hollywood, I guess. It has to be. Because no way they're going to take less money than more money. More money is always better than less money. So, I mean, it's got to be a rhyme or a reason why they did it this way. Very interesting stuff, though, man. The last episode is tonight. Man, Bobby started wilding last night, kicked his ass out of the group. Crazy, crazy stuff, but very, very good. It is good. I like it, even though I'm not in it. Yeah. All right, when we get back from the break, man, as we're going to do every single day of the show up until next week, Sunday, man, let's talk a little bit of Super Bowl. Found a very interesting article I want to talk about, man, where they discuss why the New England Patriots are the most hated team in sports franchise history. Right up my alley. Right up my alley. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes. This is The Doug Stewart Show.
Share